Hey guys, this is Kirob speaking, and today, look at this, we are in a new game, Motorsport Manager. Quite a few of you have mentioned this, that I should be playing this, and I did. I bought it just before release, and then played it for the first time at the racetrack with proper ambient sound in the background, so that you couldn't really determine which was which, right? Which was the game and which was the actual racetrack sounding in the background. But now I'm going to play going to make a let's play with this one in a new career. And we are going to start, let's take a look, session lengths, medium, yes. Let's go for the dollars. And the date format, the only one which makes... No, there are two which make sense, and that is day, month, year, or year, month, day. And then you forget about this horrible thing, which is the imperial units. Autosave, yeah, let's have it on. Okay, no tutorials, thank you. They get in the way a little bit. And of course we need to make our professional character. And of course, I'm Rob Heuschmann, and I am not born on the 1st of the 1st, but let's say I am, and I'm born in 1982. I certainly have less hair than this guy, so let's accommodate for that. That's not quite where I wanted to go. It's probably more like this if I, nah, it's not quite that bad. Yeah, that would be kind of correct if I would shave. So let's do it like this, and then facial hair, basically none, but yes, and now I need glasses. Excellent, yeah, that's perfect. I look like a total professional now, and professional I am, not in this game, but German born, of course, as you know. Continent, Europe. Yes, Europe. Still in Europe. And I'm all good with this. Let's take a look at the backstory. I think the most... would make sense. Financial, it doesn't make much sense. Not for me. Not a financial background, although I know a little bit about, like, world economy and shit. And backstory unknown. No, it's very... Why? This is so exclusionary, guys. Why don't they have a backstory for the nuclear physicist? I don't quite get that. I mean, this is so common. So let's go with ex-engineer. That is at least somewhat correct. So this gives various bonuses, and this is probably one of the weaker ones. Let's see, backstory. The driver one seems to be pretty good, but I'm certainly not familiar with race driving myself. Just this weekend, no, the race weekend before the last one, so 3 weeks ago, was the first time ever I drove go-karts. That was pretty awesome. So no, definitely not a race driver background, but ex-engineer makes a lot of sense. Okay, and I'm still not transitioning to female, as far as I know. So which series are we choosing? Like Formula 3, 2 or 1? And I think the most logical way to start out a Let's Play, which is open-ended, would be in the lowest series. Alright, yeah, that's looking good. And it's all easy. No, we don't need to look at the rules. We can just continue on. European Racing Series. So what is this game about, really? Well, you manage a team, a racing team, with all kinds of things like managing tech and your drivers, your chief staff, and like the race mechanics and all that stuff. But it's all not very deep, but still engaging. I played through 2 times the first season and a little bit with different teams just to get a feel for it. I at this point have about 10 hours in the game, maybe a little bit more. And so far I'm really enjoying it. So if you don't really want to get spoiled, and want to play yourself, then I would recommend, yeah, go ahead and buy it. If you're not looking for super in-depth racing management, then sure, go ahead. It's a fun game. So far it is engaging, and I can see it be fun over several seasons too. You kind of see through some of the game mechanics pretty quickly, but it still retains a good immersion factor, and it retains this just one more race feel for quite a while nonetheless. And I think what we are going to do here is not choose this one, because this team is complete tosh. That's probably a hardcore challenge I should do if once I've really mastered the game. I should play with the Predator race group. No, and not with Archer. You can see here in comparison to other teams how good this is. If it's all the way at the top, you are first in that category. And they have plenty of sponsors which are good, and really good drivers actually on that. That would be interesting. A shitty car, really shitty car. So there are various teams with different stats, and I think we are going to launch with this one. So I kind of like this one. I played it for a bit, and they seem to be a good mix of things. They have a reasonable chance of winning races even at the start. Well, maybe not winning, but placing in the top 10 pretty easily if you don't fuck up too much. And the drivers are decent, and the staff is shit, but that's mainly down to one person, which you should try to replace. And we are going to see that pretty soon. Oh, they have a really good car. They have an even better car. They have everything. And they are just winning. Okay, no, that's not a challenge. So we are going to play with Vexala, the Finnish racing team. Alright, let's take a look at our drivers. We do have the 3-star driver, or almost 3-star driver, with a lot of focus and a lot of fitness and a lot of mediocrity in the other stats, but a reasonably high feedback stat, which is very helpful to find good setups for the race and just unlock some bonuses for the race. And we have someone who's a very rough driver, well, probably a rally driver if you're taking a look at these stats. A rally driver, yes. Consistency, nope. Into the trees. Smoothness, nope. No smoothness. Overtaking and braking, that's really helpful. And also pretty good focus and fitness, at least decent. And the rest is not that good. But overall, that's all cool. So let's take a look here. We do have a few more emails. They are very much not into your face unless there is a must respond thing on there. And this one is pretty important because it determines how much money you are getting. And we could gamble and go for 3rd overall here. That is risky though, but the extra money we're getting allows us to develop more parts, more updated parts during the season. And that is very, very useful. This is a good 3.3 million more than if we go with the medium option. So I think just to make it a little tricky, we are going to go with this one. Ooh, that might end badly, but yeah. You never know. We should be able to crunch through. So, slot 1, we have an offer. So there are 2 different types of slots. There are fixed payment sponsors who pay you every race or just one time up front. That's also possible. And the quality of the sponsors is determined by your overall sponsor appeal, which is determined in turn by your team and how attractive it is for sponsors. We have a marketability of 20.7% right now, not high at all. And let's see what they offer. Well, that is one of the sponsors, like these 3 slots down here, where you can choose to have a bonus payment, and you can choose at the start of the race which of the 3 sponsors, up to 3 sponsors you're having down here, which of the bonuses you want to go for. You can only choose one, which is an interesting game mechanic. It might not be very realistic, but it makes quite a bit of sense. And if we choose this one for 10 races, which is the whole season, then we will end up with now, right away, $1 million extra, which is a significant amount of money, while this one certainly doesn't give much. So I think I'm going to accept this offer just because of the big cash flow up front. And we have this one, which gives us 8 or above. That's the place in the race. And that would give us $500,000 if we accomplish that. That's a pretty good one. I like this. But these sponsors down here, the fixed payment sponsors, these are super important for the race. The higher, the better. You want to have a steady income to handle all the expenses for your team and your car, the continued development of your car. Let's take a look at the team. So the sponsors, supposedly we are the best, and I don't quite see that. Staff kind of sucks. Headquarters, we have nothing. We are basically there's nothing. So we have design center and a factory, and that's it. There's nothing else. And there are very many different buildings we could go to. And scouting facility. Most of them are locked because we need a higher level of our existing 2 buildings in order to get there. But just for you to get a sense of the prices here, 8 million a pop is significant, and they take like half a season to upgrade, 20 weeks, which is also kind of difficult to cram into an existing season. The first one I see we should go for is the factory, because that allows you to upgrade more parts during the season, and that, as you soon will see, if we take a look at the car, let's take a look at the car, really comes in handy. I don't quite know how they ended up with this rating of fuel efficiency, which is amazing. And overall, that is pretty good. Improvability is lackluster, and very important, but the fuel efficiency is really nice. So let's see here. We could design a new part, and this system is really cool. I've never seen this system so streamlined and yet so intuitive in a way. It's kind of building on designing components with a card-based system, and the cards are kind of randomized and depend on your engineer. You have your lead designer, and let's take a look here. So the first time we try to improve on the original engine, we can choose one of 3 things, and we actually got a pretty good one here. This is slot 1. This is just the average cards. Then there are good cards, the what is it called, the great cards, and then there are the basically awesome or epic and legendary or whatever cards. And this is our current part. That is the part which is our base item. We have a 140 performance rating on it, and we can improve it up to 148. If we build a new part like this, with this card added on, we add a flat plus 10, which we will have straight away, and a flat plus 10% reliability. Both reliability and performance can be increased. Reliability up to 100%, and performance up to the maximum value it gets. And as you can see here, now that we have chosen this card, or any of these, we could then, if this slot was unlocked, we could then choose one of these, which is kind of a really bad roll. As you can see here, there are special items. This one has a risk level +1. It is a much more powerful card, but one which potentially is rule breaking, and if you are caught, then you can pay, I think it's fees, and you get demoted down from the race several positions, several places. So very risky, and potentially very damaging to you as a team. But you start out with low risk, and then the more parts you add, the higher the risk for the part becomes. So what I'm going to do now is just to check out where we are at with our different parts, so that I get an overview of it. This is completely randomized, by the way, so it has this replayability value, which is really nice. I like that. So if I go with this one, for instance, which is really quite good, and then I would add this one as the second one and have a low risk. And then as a third one, you can choose lower cards as well. So you could put a great one in there, or you could put a good or an average card in there as well. So because everything in here is kind of difficult because they are limited to risky parts, which is very unfortunate. I would be going for the extra reliability, which is cool, which saves me a lot of time optimizing the part. So engines, tricky, but with accepting a low-level risk, it has a potential really strong, good engine, which is entirely doable. They cost a lot, as you can see here, 1.5 million, and that only produces one engine. That is a bit strange. It only produces one single engine, and your other driver doesn't get that engine. For that, you would have to build another one. And engines change around and stuff. So your cars aren't, you have two cars and they aren't exactly the same. Let's take a look at the gearboxes. What do we have here? Ooh, that's a good one. Just flat plus 20 acceleration. And this one is risky and this one is risky, but this one is really good. This one is really good. This one is really good as well, but not quite as good as this one. So yeah, here we have an avenue for becoming much better. And if we take a look at how well we are doing acceleration, we are already pretty good. Like the top here marks the best team, and we are very high up. The bottom marks the worst team, not zero, but the worst team. So you can't, if you don't know the worst team's performance there, then you can't really tell how high up the rankings you are, like on the relative scale. The brakes, let's take a look at this, and here we have a pretty decent one for starting out, and then that's pretty bad. This one is good. That's a good part. So here we also have a good avenue of improvement, and currently our performance in brakes sucks, so that might be the very first thing we want to do, just to improve this. So brakes are good. Suspension, we are kind of leading the whole pack, or very close to. A massive performance rating here, and wow, yes, that's really good. The second item here is really good too, even though it has minus 20% reliability. That is something you can change. Reliability is a bit easier to get than performance, so yep, cool, this is working out nicely. And front wing and rear wing are set parts for the race series. Everyone has to use the same, so we can't modify them. All right, fitting parts. All right, let's take a look here. These are our two drivers. This is our number one driver, who expects to get a better car than our second driver, who expects to have, or who's really happy with a car that is equally as good as the other car, and overly delighted if it's better than the other ones. But you want to keep it slightly worse, just very slightly, and they seem to be not quite too bitchy about it. So if you give him a slightly, but in a significant way, slightly better car, then he will be quite happy, and she will still be like, oh yeah, awesome, you're so nice to me, giving me this car which doesn't completely suck. So that's kind of nice. And what? This is amazing. We have so high oh yeah, that was the case, right? I already forgot about that. Yeah, in this team you start out with very reliable parts. That's really cool. And we have 16 more days until the first race, in which top speed are crucial and acceleration is crucial, and high speed corners as well. But high speed corners, well, we can't do much about that. Reliability is already very high. Is there any deficit area for the pink car? No, there isn't. Cool. So what we want to do is now improve some parts and build or design a few new ones. We might want to take a look at a better designer too. But first, let's work out how we get started here into improving parts. For this, we should take a look at the various races. So top speed is needed straight away, and acceleration. And then we have, okay. The Munich Grand Prix and the Black Sea Grand Prix need the acceleration, and it's crucial there. So the first thing we should focus on is to get better performance out of our gearbox. And then the second one, this is medium speed corners. We don't have that here. Milano has high speed corners, deceleration, and top speed. So now it boils down to acceleration and top speed, actually. Yep, that's what we need to focus on. Acceleration and top speed. And our car is terrible at braking currently. With our trait of being an engineer, we cut down on designing new parts quite significantly. You know, that's a very good thing. We said top speed. There's not much to improve here, though. That's unfortunate. Let's put it in here. And we want to improve... we don't really want to improve this one. It has very high reliability already. I think suspensions need to be improved because 65 is a little bit on the low side. And once these are maximized, we can then shift towards improving the gearbox. Wow, the gearbox has massive potential to be improved, while the engine doesn't really. So yes, what I'm going to do here is shift Polly Baker to the performance department because she gives a higher bonus here. It's harder to get performance really than the reliability. As you can see, every point spent here, you can allocate your staff. We have 10 staff members, and depending on where you set the slider, you can determine when they are, how much effort is put in there. And staff impact and chief mechanic impact, that remains constant. But she's really good at making these parts better. So this would be maximized 1 day before the race starts, and this would be at 100% 29 days after the race ends. Yeah, not too good, but we don't really care right now. So I think we are going with this for, let's say, a week or something. That should increase things nicely, and we get the opportunity to then really focus on making the gearbox better. That is one of the main aspects we want to look at for the first race, definitely. Cool. So now, staff and team members, not drivers, staff. Right. These are the race mechanics. And, oh, this is already level 2 unlocked. That's not very useful. Medium tires wear more slowly, not very useful. Green sweet spot in qualifying is bigger. That is one thing that is completely irrelevant because this race series doesn't have qualifyings. So very helpful. Thank you, Carlos. But this dude, he's kind of the turd of the team. He's really bad. A 1.2 star engineer, lead designer. That doesn't get you nowhere. So what I'm going to try and find is a new designer. So let's go to the scouting department. There are plenty of designers around, and many of them don't even have a team. What we're really looking out for is someone who is good at engine, brakes, suspension, and gearbox, because the wings are not relevant to this series. That is something we want to keep in mind. And if I go back here, 3-star is certainly very expensive already. And someone like this has far too much potential. They are like little divas. And oh, an epic trait of risk factor -1. That's awesome. But he's boring. Really boring traits. Boring traits. Let me look around a bit, and then I just tell you whom we pick. Ah, yes. Okay, I think we are going with this dude here. He is a 2.5-star engineer, which is more than twice as good as our current one. Oh, about twice as good as the current one we have. But he has quite a bit of potential to the upside. 3.5 stars is very good. This potentially is very useful too in certain situations, so that you can switch around a slot and put different cards in there. Like if you take this one, then you get an additional. You can basically put another card in the slot which it shouldn't be in. So that's very handy. So let's approach the designer. He's interested. Cool. Start the negotiations. He prefers a long contract. Yes, we do too. We do too. And wages are fairly important to me. That you are on a scale here, I think. I think the developer thought like, yeah, let's do everything from on a kind of relative scale depending on the person. So you have a rough estimate of where you end up at. And this is the maximum. And over here is the minimum. So wages are fairly important to me. Okay. That means, to me, that means like pretty high up here on the scale. And pretty important. Maybe we can get away with this. So I'd like a nice signing on fee. A nice signing on fee sounds like a way of saying give me all the money. So, ooh, that's a lot. Let's go with 270,000. That's a lot of money. And bonus size isn't very important. Cool. 10 for above. Then let's see. This is 60k. And let's go with 5th or above, and yeah, 6th or above, and 24k. I hope he bites on this one. He has 4 patience markers, and we hopefully don't insult him, but can renegotiate if necessary. Okay, continue. So proposal sent, and I hope this fixes a few issues for the team if we get him. That would be nice. But let's go back to the car and see what we can design. Designing new parts. I really want to get better brakes. And the brake department was pretty decent, if I remember. Oh, yes. This one is amazing, actually. Okay, then, well, I'm just choosing this one. And this will take only 5 days. So we will be able to create another one before the race. And then I would be choosing this one. Then we have pretty good brakes already. Oh, that isn't too bad. Yeah, I like that. Costs a massive amount of money. But we have to take this. Cool. So now let's head back here. Targets for the season. We have set that. We definitely need to be aggressive here in order to get to our 3rd position overall in the season. But now enough of the chatter and preparations. I think it is time to time accelerate. And the brake design is already finished. Nice. So if we could fit that now, this part, but I don't really want to. I want to take a look at designing a new part, because now we have gathered the knowledge to make a new brake, which is even better. We choose this one, and we choose this one, and this, and ooh, look at that. We can't use this. This is locked because we need a certain building for this one to get it started. But yeah, we won't have that for quite a long time. So in the next slot we unlock, and that's the last one we can unlock, because you need to have a card of the higher order chosen to unlock the next one at least once. And yeah, for the next one we then choose another one of these. And potentially I would be going with... Which one would I be going with? Probably this one. Because this is kind of shit. Increasing the red zone that much doesn't really benefit you. And our new designer doesn't fix the issue either. But these brakes are already really good. So there's a lot of improvability in here. You can see us move up the scale. Still kind of kind of bad compared to the competition, but I mean, this is our weak spot, so pretty decent for that. 3 days before the race, yes, we build the part. It's very expensive, but we have to bite that apple. Now let's take a look at the parts and their improvement. Oh yes, we have already gained a little bit of the reliability here. It's almost getting to a point where they are basically unbreakable for the first race if you don't have any specific malfunctions. And here is our new part. Now we have an average part sitting around here. And oh fuck, this is actually worse. This one is actually worse than these when it comes to the maximum. That's pretty poor. So maybe I should have waited with this. Maybe they need to be optimized before you actually design a new part, because otherwise it's based on the performance stat of the old brakes or something. And that could very well be the case. In that sense, we would have fucked up there. But we'll see how this goes. I still haven't completely figured out the mechanics of this. And a green value here means that it is, I think, top 3 rating or something. This kind of color means that it's top of the class. So we are, very high up at least. So we are kind of among the best people here when it comes to suspension. Okay, 11 days remaining. Let's continue on. And brakes finished. Yes. And interview. All right, let's give an interview. Blah, blah, blah. Interested in doing it? Ah, sure. Of course we want to do an interview. Answers. Vexala Motorsport is the best team in ERS. What's your plan? I don't know. No need to stabilize. I think we are going with B, a solid foundation, and we want to become a top team. And for this one, it's like, which driver do you want to piss off? Like, big middle finger to number 1 or number 2? I think I'm going with the diplomatic answer and say I'm lucky enough to have inherited 2 great drivers. Yes. The one in the bobby car over there. That's my favorite one. He's really fast. Yeah, we are going with this one. And season preview. Yeah. What about 5th position? Nah. We'll do better than this. This is kind of cocky though. When you say that, then you're probably going to lose. Prediction seems fair. Yeah, it seems kind of fair, but we are going to do much better. And now about my legendary engineering background. Yes, I'm the master engineer. The fans should know that I have safe hands? Nah. I'm hoping the drivers will respect me more. Nah, I don't give a fuck. And, well, we'll obviously have greater insight into car development. Sure thing. Alright, our chairman liked that answer. Okay, finish the interview. There we go. Brakes are still shit. But now we start... Do we need to start improving on the gearbox, actually? Nah, no. Let's go a little bit more. Oh, yeah. Whoa, contract offer accepted! Hype! Staff! We have an engineer which doesn't suck! Sign! Oh, sorry, dude. I didn't tell you that you were... Oh, that's my bad. Oh, sorry. I kind of missed that you were still there. Yep, sign-on fee and the contract breaking fee. Whoops. Nah, you can't do much about that. That's just a fixed number. So, yes, we pay this. And now we have an actual pretty good team here. Yeah. Very good. For this one, contract signed. And we have new lead designer. Cool. And now, just 5 more days, I want to get in a little bit of working on the gearboxes too. this is nice and all. And these are already good. And now for the gearbox. Let's do it like this. And we do need a little bit more reliability. Like this, yeah. Okay. And up until the race. Do we have more sponsors? Nope, no more sponsors. Telemetry center. We can't afford that. No. Is this weird? Oh, Sunday is showing a 40% chance of rain. Oh, that might be interesting. Practice is sunny. So top speed, acceleration, high speed corners. Cool. Let's go to the race. Well, no, there is something more. Our brakes are done. Let's take a look at our brakes. So these are a lot better. Yes, they are a lot better. But in order to use them, we need another one for the other car. And there we can use an additional card. So let's just hammer out one more. And with our new designer here, it's the Super Pro, we want to have this one. And this one. And the red zone, maybe? Just to make it safer. But that doesn't give too much of a bonus otherwise. But we can't unlock these anyway. So might as well just choose this one, because I don't want to run a risk factor all season long. It's quite powerful, but nah. And this is not possible, unfortunately. Okay, let's run the red zone. Deceleration plus 50, my god, that's really good. Plus 60, red zone plus 15%. That would also be cool. Not quite as good as this, but yeah. Reliability, 50%. Good starting value. So let's build these, and then we have something for the rest of the season, basically, for this car. And yeah, these are getting very expensive. Coolies. Deceleration. Yeah. Well, we have the part which performs better, and we are no longer all the way down the drain, but still not really up to par. But now I want to finally show you the racing. I know there's a lot of preparation. It's a management game. It's a tycoon game. Oh, sponsors! Yes, we have a sponsor. Yay, Peach Plum, New Zealand. It's a New Zealand sponsor. And fixed per race. That's amazing. Accept the offer. And now we travel to the Black Sea race. We are doing very, very averagely. But look at our staff now. Because of our new designer guy with the white beard as a 28-year-old. We catapulted up to 2nd place. So now, we need to choose a bonus. I think we are going for this one, because nothing else makes sense. And for the part fitting, everyone is content. We have basically the parts which we had since the start. Nothing fancy there. We can't really use the new brakes yet, because they have so shit reliability. This is all really fancy. Nicely made.